Good afternoon, ma'am. So today we are going to start freely falling body, reverting. Okay. So freely falling body and its conditions we are going to discuss. What is a freely falling body? See, if the initial velocity of a dropped object is 0, so then you can treat it like a freely falling body. So initial velocity is 0. Here one body is taken, it is just dropped. So dropped means initial velocity 0. But at the same time, you see here, you take your hand, you just leave it. What is the velocity of your hand? 0. When you are giving like this, then that time u is not 0. Okay. Since whatever the speed of your hand, that speed of your hand will be the initial velocity of the object. Okay. If your hand is appears to be rest, then in that situation, what is the speed of the body? 0. But see here, if the same person is moving while he is going in an elevator or a lift in upward direction, so in that situation, if he drops an object here while he is going upward with some acceleration or some velocity, so at that instant, what is the velocity of the lift? The same velocity will be the velocity of the man, and same velocity will be the velocity of the object dropping. You can't take u is 0 in that situation. Okay, na? So you have to think whether the body is standing at rest or moving with some velocity. In that situation it is dropped. Okay, if it is dropped means in all situations it is not 0. Okay, na? So we need to observe whether the object is dropping when it is at rest from the person is at rest or person is moving. So person is at rest, if he is stopping, if he is dropping, then initial velocity is 0. So if u is 0, then you see here the object is coming down. As this is coming down, here you can take it as plus g. U is 0. So after traveling some distance in vertically downward direction, what can you notice? Body can travel s is equal to some distance. Let it be s later, I will tell you. We will take h, right? Now you see this. For this object, you know there are 4 equations of motion. What are they? V is equal to u plus at. S is equal to ut plus half at square. V square minus u square equal to 2as. Sn is equal to u plus a into n minus half. Or u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. This is what distance covered in nth second. So these are all the equations can be applicable only for uniform accelerations. These are applicable only for uniform accelerations. This is not applicable for non-uniform accelerations. Okay. So in case of non-uniform accelerations, you know different calculus methods are there. Okay. Now in this case, v is equal to u plus at, u is 0, you substitute v is equal to 0 plus gt. A is g, t is t. This is for freely falling object. Suppose if a body is thrown downward with an initial velocity u, in that situation you can't take u is 0. Okay, na? So right. So s is equal to ut plus, so that means v is equal to gt. So g is g is a constant value on the surface of the earth, acceleration due to gravity. So g value, average value of g is equal to 9.8 meter per second square on the surface of the earth. Average value. So that will vary from place to place. Okay, that will vary from place to place. So it may be, you see here, if you take the surface earth, so earth pole to equator, this is equator and this is pole. So value of g at equator is less and at poles it is maximum. So here it is around 9.78, this is 9.83 meter per second square, here 9.78 meter per second square. Average they have taken throughout the earth. So that is what? 9.8 meter per second square. That is the average value of g on the surface of the earth. And see here, from planet to planet acceleration due to gravity will change. So suppose if you go for moon and on the surface of the moon g is equal to 1/6 of the value of g. Okay, so g on moon surface is equal to g by 6, that is 1.67 meter per second square. Okay, whereas you go for the g acceleration due to gravity on the sun surface, that is around 274 meter per second square. That is very high here, you can notice. Okay, so this is about that z value. See, v is directly proportional, v is equal to gt means g is acceleration due to gravity, it's a constant value at a particular place, v is directly proportional to t. So as time changes, as time increases, velocity also increases. Okay, so that is what about v is equal to u plus at for that freely falling case. Next, s equal to ud plus half ad square. S is what? Distance covered. I am taking that s can be taken as s or h, anything, no problem. Okay, suppose if it is dropped from certain height, the distance covered you can take it as s equal to h. Okay, so s equal to ut plus half ad square, u 0. So 0 plus half, a is what? G t square. So half g is constant, so s is directly proportional to t square. That's why you will get the curve like this for displacement time also. Right, next. S is directly proportional to t square. Next. See here, if you take that s is covered is h means, so you can write s is h is equal to half g t square. T is what? From the height, if it takes t, okay, t from this, what is t? Cross multiply it, 2h by z under root. That is the time taken by the freely falling body from a height h if it is falling down. Okay, the time it takes to reach the ground is root 2h by z. Right? Next, go to another one, v square minus u square equal to 2as. For that, u0 means this becomes 0. V square is equal to 2a, a is s is h. V square equal to 2as you can write, or v square is equal to 2gh also you can write. 2gs also you can write. If that is s is given h, you can write v square equal to root 2gh. So 2g is constant, you can write v square is directly proportional to, from this 2g constant, v square is directly proportional to s you can write. Okay, even here also s is what? H. If you are taking s or h, it's not a problem. Okay, so v square is directly proportional to s, then from this v is directly proportional to root s. Okay, that is for uniform accelerations. Uniform acceleration means you can consider, if you take here acceleration is a is equal to g you have taken, or if it is constant acceleration you can take a also, no problem. Okay, for freely falling means a is g, that's why I have taken g here. Okay, so even horizontal motion also you can take, v square is equal to 2as if it starts from rest. 2a is constant means v square is directly proportional to s, v is directly proportional to root s. Okay, right, next go to another one. So from this, what is v? Root 2gh. So that is the velocity with which it hits the ground. That is the velocity with which it hits the ground. Clear or not? Okay, right, next. Last one, what is that? Sn equal to u plus a into n minus half. For that, for freely falling body, u0, a is taken as g, then s distance covered in nth second is equal to 0 plus g, I will take LCM is 2, so g by 2 into 2n minus 1. So g by 2 is constant, you can take, Sn is directly proportional to 2n minus 1. This is what? Distance covered in nth second. Okay, suppose, see here, if they ask what is the distance covered or what is the fraction of distance covered for a freely falling body, if they ask in a particular nth second, what is the fraction of distance covered in a particular nth second? Fraction of distance means what? How much distance it is covered in nth second to the total distance covered. That is what fraction of distance covered, right? So, fraction of distance covered for a freely fraction of distance covered for a in nth second. Not only for freely falling body, you can, if it is going with uniform acceleration also, you can say started from rest. Okay, so in that situation Sn by S is equal to, Sn is what? Directly proportional to 2n minus 1 na? By S is what? Half a t square na? From that you will get. So how you got this? You see here. Sn equal to g by 2 into 2n minus 1 for freely falling body. Total distance covered for n seconds is equal to half g t square. T is what? N square. Divide these two. Half g cancel. You will get what? 2n minus 1 by n square. That is what distance covered in nth second. Fraction of distance covered in nth second. 2n minus 1 by n square. Clear? That is the explanation. Right, next. Go to, suppose a body is dropped, falling down. If it is coming down, there is a multi-story building. From that multi-story building, an object is dropped. Initial velocity is 0. If it is not stopped by anyone, directly it comes to the ground. So if it takes a time of t1 seconds to reach the ground directly from a elevator of height h, from the building of height h, multi-story building of height h. After that, the object is from the same height, the object is dropped. Second case, after t1 seconds, after t1 already you have taken here. So you take after t2 seconds, from this building somebody has caught the object. Okay. While it is coming down, somebody in the multi-story building caught the object in between. So there are 10 floors, means maybe in 7th floor person, from 10th floor it is dropped. Maybe in 7th floor person or 5th floor person, one person go and one person come to that window and catch the object. Immediately drops. Just he is holding and dropping. Holding and dropping. So that means what? Till here, to reach this point, they have counted as t2 seconds, and after that it is caught and dropped. So u2, u3 is 0. While it is coming down, it takes further time of t3 seconds to reach the ground. Then what is the relation between t1, t2 and t3? Okay, so if you observe for all the cases, for all the three, 1, 2 and 3 cases, in first case and in the second case, second and third case together, what is same? Distance covered is same. So that means what? In first case, what is the distance covered? Half
h by 2.
Half gt square. No, h by 2, how can you say? This is h. Okay, here this is a building. From this building, multi-story building, object is dropped first. If it is dropped normally, what will happen? The object falls directly to the ground. Okay, for that, to travel the distance of h, it takes a time of t1 seconds. Later, from the same height, another object is dropped, or same object can be dropped, no problem. So, from the same height, another object is dropped. So, while it is coming down, somewhere in the middle, they caught the object and dropped again. They are catching the object means what is the meaning? They are bringing the object to rest and leaving. So again here initial velocity is 0 for again. Okay, na? If it is not dropped, the same time what it takes in the previous case only it takes to reach the ground. But because of holding and dropping, time changes. Okay, so for freely falling to reach the ground is t1 seconds means after second case what body is dropped after traveling t2 seconds, if it is caught and released means what will be the further time it takes to reach the ground? What will be the answer? T1 equal to T2 plus T3, yeah? Can we take? Sure? Sure?
No, sir, there is caught.
Two cases are different.
We can't take it. We can't add the times directly. Why? Here velocity, while he is catching, the velocity is different. Again dropping velocity is different. So here velocities are reaching this point is different. So that same time it will not take. So based on that heights are same. I am going to equate the heights. So for first case h1, h is equal to what? You take this is h1. Till here it is h2 and you give this is h3. So h1 is equal to h2 plus h3. Correct? So what is h1? Half g t1 square. Freely falling body ut plus half t square. u0. So that's why directly I am writing half g t1 square is equal to h2 what? u2 0 half g t2 square plus third one half g t3 square half g cancel. What will you get? T1 square is equal to T2 square plus T3 square. You don't know what is T3. So you can write T3 square is equal to T1 square minus T2 square. That's the time taken, further time taken to drop down. Okay, this is about a relation between times. Okay, right, next. Shall we go for next case? Wait, huh? Okay, copy it. Yes, and next one. See, if you take an object from a height h or from a particular height h, a body is dropped. u1 is equal to 0. After some time, another object is dropped from the same height. After some time, another object is dropped from the same height. Then, what is the difference in heights? What is the difference in distances between the objects? So, how much? See here, first body, if it covers during a time of some t seconds means it will cover h1 means. So, second body is dropped, it is coming to a height h2 means. Okay, so then the time gap, distance between them is h1 difference h2 that remains same throughout the journey. Okay, the difference remains same throughout the journey. Why? Since on both the bodies acceleration due to gravity acts same. How much time gap you have left, with that time gap how much distance it is covered, the same distance only will be maintained throughout its journey. Okay, so understood or not? Okay, see here suppose from the ground at suppose 100 meters height is there. From that 100 meters a body is dropped. So initially it is dropped. So if it is reached 10 meters traveled. 10 meters traveled. After it is traveling 10 meters, second body is dropped. So while we are before releasing that second body, the first body covered how much distance?
10 meters. meters.
10 meters. That same 10 meters will be maintained throughout its journey until they reaches the ground. Okay na? So see here, suppose if it comes to 20 meter, so then it comes to 10 meter. That gap between them is maintained same 10 meter. Okay, so that is what difference. Because on both the bodies, acceleration due to gravity acting same. So distance covered will also, the ratio, the gap between the bodies will be maintained same. Right? Now this is next condition. Okay na? Go to another one. Suppose a body is dropped, u1 is equal to 0 from certain height. Okay, it takes some time, t seconds to reach the ground, or t1 seconds to reach the ground, right? Next, after some time, another object, u2, a same object, otherwise identical object, another object is thrown downward with an initial velocity u. Okay, see here, there are two conditions. One, first body is just dropped. Suppose if it takes t seconds to reach the ground, okay, let it be how much time it takes to reach the ground. Or this is a water pond you take, otherwise no problem. Water pond or ground, whatever it is. Suppose this is a water pond, this is a bridge you take, otherwise from the bridge one object is dropped first. The stone is reaching the ground, water surface. Okay, it should reach the water surface, right? Next what I am doing is after some time means what? Not after hitting the surface of water, after dropping some time, before reaching the water surface. Okay, suppose you see here first body is dropped. Suppose it takes 10 seconds to reach the ground. You just assume. After 2 seconds or after 1 second or after 3 seconds, that means that is less than the time which is reaching the water surface. With that time gap, I am releasing another object. Okay na? I am releasing means I am not dropping, I am throwing down. I am throwing second body down with a velocity u. Observe it carefully. First body is dropped. Okay, it will go with uniform acceleration due to gravity. Effect only, it will come down. So how much time it takes? T equal to root 2h by g, you can calculate. The time takes to reach the surface of water. But what I am doing is, after some x seconds, before it reaches the water surface, after some x seconds, okay, after dropping the first body, after some x seconds, so second body is thrown down. Second body is thrown down. So it is dropped means it will take some time. But second body is thrown down means will it take the same time to reach the water surface? Why? Because it is having somewhat more speed. So now what will happen? It will cover more distance. So more distance in less time. So time taken to reach the surface of water will be less. Correct? So first body is reaching the water surface with less time, with some time. But after x seconds, if second body is thrown down, then both the bodies reach the water surface simultaneously. Then what is the condition? Understood the case? Okay, so what you observed in both the cases, distance covered by the body is same. But in first case, it is moving under gravity effect only. Second case, it is going with initial velocity plus gravity. Both. Okay, so for this case, h is what? For freely falling body, h for freely falling body is equal to h thrown down. H for freely falling body is what? Half gt square. Ut plus half at square, u0. So half gt square. And what about h thrown down body?
V plus u, ut plus half at square.
But t is what? If it takes 1 minute, if it takes t seconds to reach the ground, then this is also reaching, but after x seconds. That means what is the journey time?
T minus x.
Yes, t minus x. This is to reach 10 seconds it takes. After 2 seconds I thrown this body to reach the ground. Both of them reach the second water surface same time. Now second body, how much time it is reached? After 2 seconds of its journey time. That means 8 seconds. Okay na? 8 seconds means what? This 10 minus after how much time you dropped, that time gap, that is what? Your journey time for the second body. Understood? So that is what? U into t minus x plus half g into t minus x whole square.
Wait, 15, sir.
This is the condition to reach both the bodies to ground the water surface at a time. Next. Copy. Yes, next case. Next case is what? See, there is a particular height. From this height, an object is dropped. It is coming down. While it is coming down, in its path, I have taken 2 points. One is the point A and the other one is the point B. Okay, it is just like there is a multi-story building. This is like one window and this is like another window of another floor. Okay, this is the point from where they are observing and this is another point from where they are observing. So you just notice these two are two different points. Okay, so it is dropped with an initial velocity u is equal to 0 while it is coming down. With what condition it comes? With acceleration due to gravity only, it will come down. A is equal to plus g, it is coming down. While it is coming down, to cross this point, if it takes a time t1 seconds, to cross this point, it takes a time t2 seconds. Then distance between A and B is what? Distance between A and B. So what is the distance between A to B? Is equal to distance to cover from here to here minus here to here. Yes, HB minus HA. What is that HB?
Half A.
Half G T2 square minus half G T1 square. Half G you take common, G2 T square minus T1 square.
So we can write T2 as T1 minus T2 as T1.
Your wish, notation is your wish. You want no problem. Okay, if you take this is T1 and this is T2, your wish. General condition is that. Half G into T2 square minus T1 square. If times are known to find the distance between A and B, you can use this formula. But if you know heights, if you don't know time, how much time it takes to cross from A to B if they ask? Yes. So, right. Suppose the same condition, a body is dropped from certain height to reach the point A if it covers a distance h1. After that, to reach the point P, it covers a distance h2. Then what is the time taken to cross from A to B I need? How can I calculate? So it is just like a freely falling body. What is the formula to time for time taken by a body to reach to travel in downward direction. Yes, T equal to root 2g, root 2h by z. T equal to root 2h by z. Correct? Now, root 2h by z.
Yes, sir. But we have to
No.
tweak this camera only breakfast.
From okay, so from A to B, time taken I need to calculate. So to calculate that time taken for B minus time taken for A, I need to calculate. Okay, so time taken for B is what? Root 2h2 by g minus root 2h1 by g. So root 2 by g you can make common, you can write root h2 minus root h1. So that is what time taken to reach from A to B. If heights are given. Right, next. Next, another application. Suppose there is a well. It contains some amount, well, water is there. From the dropping point, here it is a dropping point into the well. So, from the dropping point, if h is the height till the water surface, from the surface of water to the point where you are dropping, the height is h. Okay, while it is coming down, here a stone is dropped on the surface of water. What will happen? First this stone will come and hit the surface of water. For that it takes some time. Correct? So after dropping the stone into the water, you can observe some sound. Okay, that sound produced by the stone after hitting the surface of water, the sound you can hear it. So that is what the splash of sound to hear, it takes some other time. Okay, so here two times are there. One is the time taken to reach the surface of water for a freely falling body or a stone. Next, after hitting, sound will travel in reverse direction to your ear. Okay, so that is what, while coming up in with the sound V. Okay, so this is comes with the velocity of sound. Now, time taken to listen the splash of sound. Splash of sound. Yes. So here what? A stone is dropped from certain height. It takes some time to reach the surface of water. After hitting, you can listen the sound. The stone touches the surface of water, that splash of sound. So with the sound, with the speed of sound, it is coming up. So to come upward to listen the sound, it takes some other time. So here two times are there. One is time taken to the stone to reach the surface of water. So splash of sound is equal to T is equal to time taken for stone to reach water surface. Then after that, the sound should travel in upward direction. So time taken for sound to reach up. Now, what is this stone to reach? It is U0. So it takes h distance, it travels h distance to touch the surface of water. What is this? Root 2h by g plus time taken to sound to go up. What is the distance sound is traveling? Same distance h by velocity of sound it is going up. So v sound. Distance, time taken equal distance by speed. So h by v. So this is what time taken for the sound to reach the up, and this is what time taken by the stone to reach the surface of water. This is what totally to listen the splash of sound. Okay. Right. Next. Next. Next case, if you drop an object from a certain height, you know the ratio of distances covered in first second, second second, third second. What is that? S1 is to S2 is to S3 is to so on. Nth second is equal to directly proportional to n minus 1. So 1 is to 3 is to 5 is to 7 is to so on odd numbers ratio. That is the distance covered in nth seconds ratio. Distance covered in the first second and distance covered in first 2 seconds, distance covered in first 3 seconds, so on is directly proportional to 1 square is to 2 square is to 3 square is to 4 square is to so on. So this is what squares ratio. So what is this? 1 is to 4 is to 9 is to 16 and so on. So these conditions also important for solving problems, right? Next, we'll go for some problems on this, right? Yes.